Hi class, welcome to week 2. This week's chapters are going to be on ethics and other professional responsibilities, and then chapter 3, applying the ecological model. I'll let you know right now, no one's ever going to ask you on a job interview what ecological model you like, if it be macro or meso or micro, meso, and macro. But it's good to know. Also gives you a little more fundamentals of the levels of what you can do with case management. So I'm not going to go into that now, so you can give that a read. What I want to focus on in this video is ethics and professional responsibilities, because that is very job appropriate. Ethics, you got your moral, you got your ethical, you got your legal. Moral being based on cultural or religious norms, ethical based on professional guidelines like, National Association for Social Workers that I'm a member of, and legal, which is state or federal law. Ethics are like debate classes. Sometimes what's moral, ethical, and legal, they don't match up. So it can get into a great debate, or you can see people struggle over it. So just taking abortion as an example, if you're Catholic, so morally you shouldn't have abortions. Legally, you can have abortions, and then the NASW stance is it's client choice. So those three things don't match up, and what's important is to have an understanding of what's the legal, ethical, and then how does that tie into your moral beliefs, and to be okay with that. And bottom line is, you're there for the client, not for you preaching what you feel is right. So give that chapter a read. Some things I've learned over the years, and I have listed, and that is to follow your company's policies and procedures. I know they're long, but give them a read, because that's what's going to help you. If, God forbid, something goes wrong, that's the first thing people are going to go to. And if you didn't follow it, then your agency is free and clear, and you're going to be left out to dry. So it's important to be familiar with the policies and procedures. And always, if you have questions, go to your supervisor. As you start out, you're not supposed to know anything. So it's important to ask questions. So follow company's policies and procedures. 2, if it's not written, you didn't do it. Documentation is key. I've known great clinicians who had shitty notes and no one knew where they were at. Or you could have a shitty clinician who does great notes, and actually they're the ones who get promoted and usually don't have problems with billing or any if charts are audited or something like that. So it's important that any agency you work at, that they give you time to chart. And it's so important. So even if you text a client, if you do a telephone conversation, everything has to be written. Plus, it's how you bill as a case manager. Someone's going to be paying for your services, and you got to show what you're doing for that time. So document everything. 3, do no harm. If you're not sure about something, ask. Don't try and counsel someone when you're a case manager. That's working outside your job description. 4, professional boundaries. What that is, you're not their friend. You're there as a case manager, you're there as a professional, and you got to keep those boundaries. What do those boundaries look like? No dual relationship with clients, no exchange of goods for services, no friendships, no gifts. You can't have them do work at your home. I've seen therapists fall down this trap that, hey, financially they're having problems and they need help, so I'll have them cut my grass. Well, what happens if they do a shitty job or break something or they get hurt? Or you no longer want their services? Now you just affected the clinical relationship. No sex with clients. like 90% of malpractice claims against therapists is sexual misconduct. So you think that's easy? You think that's an easy rule to follow? Your clients are going to be in distress. They're going to look at you sort of, like the doctor savior complex, and they're needy and vulnerable, and it's an unbalanced relationship. So no sex with clients. 7, confidentiality. So 90% of claims, malpractice claims against professional is sex with clients. The next, like 6%, is breach of confidentiality. Everything we do is confidential. So no need to share info with clients or friends or with other clients. The Brevard is pretty much a bunch of small towns, and it's not too hard to figure out things if you don't change the person's name or where they live or circumstance enough. Also, if your clients don't trust you, then you're dead in the water, and your relationship is now useless. When in doubt, contact your supervisor. 9, ask yourself before doing something, what would I say in court? Many times, I'm a qualified supervisor, so I supervise interns, and then I have other social workers use me as their supervision or sounding board. And they'll call and say, hey, mom said she hit her son and left a bruise. And the clinician's like, oh, well, I don't want to call because I just started rapport. This is the first time this client opened up to a therapist. I know if I call, it will ruin the relationship. All I ask is, well, if you're calling to court because someone else called DCF, what would you say to the judge why you didn't make that call? And before I'm done finishing that sentence, I have to call. So it's very important. We can get stuck in our feels, wanting to help, and it doesn't matter if DCF sucks. It doesn't matter if they don't follow through. The law is if someone's at risk or have been hurt, you have to do something with that. And then last but not least, duty to warn, duty to protect. And that's when we could break confidentiality. If a client threatens to hurt themselves, we have to do something with that. And we'll go more into that later on in the semester. Or if they say they're going to go hurt someone else. And if, are they venting? Do they have means? So if they say they have a gun and they're going to go shoot their ex-spouse, and they have a gun, they have shovel and shovel in the back of their car, you got to do something with that. So I've never met a case manager who set out to harm someone. It's always out of poor boundaries. You're trying to help. You're trying to do that's going to help the client, and it's a slippery slope. Because you help. Also ask yourself, if you don't do it for all your clients, why are you doing it for one? So just be aware of that, and always follow policies and procedures, and you'll do well. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Look forward to your discussion boards, and have a great weekend.